Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back. So, what are your plans for when your cruise gets canceled?
I mean, what can I do?
Have you thought about it, like
I mean, here's the thing that
like
upsets
a
me.
local trip?
I mean, it is her spring break. Um, she already has a flight booked, so like that's not if the cruise does get canceled, then we obviously won't go to Florida, I guess. Because like
Are
why
you sure
would
she's still going to have school? Apparently,
uh
Maryland is announcing like today that they are shutting down all schools or something like that for the
See, I
most.
think that's a weird one too because we already know the kids that have got it aren't showing any symptoms. There's no risk of death. So why are we doing that?
Well, because they can get it and spread it.
I guess.
I think where it turns it into a bigger problem, though, is it's forcing these people who otherwise are told, like me, that they still have to be at work despite everything, that now they have to be childcare. So you're really putting a damper on, just the whole working class in general
Right.
with that because you can't go fulfill your job duties. Like, you might not always have a very understanding organization that you work for.
So I was kind of worried that Crystal was gonna like change her mind last minute and say our daughter couldn't go on the cruise. But I actually talked to them about this yesterday, and she was under the opinion, the same thing that if kids can get it, which we know they can, they don't. It's not like you have to worry. So she wasn't worried, which is surprising because she's borderline hypochondriac. But she did also think that she's gonna die. She's convinced she's basically dead already.
Why is
So,
that?
well,
Does
she
she
has
have
asthma and Graves' disease and a thyroid condition. She's had heart surgery.
when you have that Graves' disease, it's just
Uh,
right on the wall.
so,
They call it what it is.
right, exactly. I
I
don't
actually
actually
don't
know
even.
what it is.
I don't actually know enough about Graves' disease either to talk about
Um,
it. It's just what a terrible name for a disease.
right, it is. Yeah,
They call it death
yeah.
disease.
Um, the name is your destination. But and she works at a bank, touching money all the time, so she's convinced that like she's just dead. In a matter of days now. Um, so there's that. Uh, but
I
yeah,
mean,
like
I am a little baffled that given the state of everything that you're still wanting to do it, even just for the possible the possibility that it is detrimental to your daughter's health.
I don't think it is. Like, I don't think there's any concern. There's nothing that's shown.
I wouldn't say that there's a zero concern, but there might be minimal concern that it's going to
I mean,
affect people. I told my wife straight up she cannot take the kids to a major gathering at the DC Cherry Blossoms. Even though
yeah,
they just
you did
canceled all
mention that
they
last.
canceled all the festival stuff today.
How did they?
Which I said it doesn't matter. They're still going to, just because the festival's canceled, there's still going to be people that are going there in mass numbers to still see. They don't take the cherry trees away because they canceled the festival. No, it's all the festivities around. There's still beautiful trees that are going to be there on the Potomac, and she thinks I'm crazy that there's not there will be zero crowds there, and I told her that doesn't matter. It's
There's definitely gonna be crowds there.
absolutely there's going to be crowds there. However,
I think it would be fine for y'all to go and keep your distance from people.
How do you guarantee you do that in public?
Just don't walk near people.
Just start running across the street. Oh no, there's more people over there.
If someone comes at you, just start coughing and be like, "I got corona, by the way. You may want to keep your distance."
It'd probably be like foreign travelers who are here to see the cherry blossoms who don't.
I mean, when is it?
It's like the next week or the week after.
Well, they can't get here.
Or there's some of them that are already here, and they only can get here from Europe.
I mean, that's not true. We had shut the borders to a lot of other places prior to the most recent announcement.
Why did we leave the UK open?
Brexit.
How does that make any sense?
I mean, it's because Trump likes Brexit, man. Sir Brexit.
Sir Brexit.
But yeah, that's what I've read is that didn't want to upset the newly Brexited UK.
Are they really newly Brexited?
Well, I mean, Brexit nothing's really happened yet.
Right, that's what I said. Are they newly Brexited? They're still talking.
But that's what I
about
read. That's the reason why. It's because Brexit. I don't know. I don't really
that
understand
was
it either.
just so. Did you watch his the press conference last night?
I did not. I
Or
was
his address? It was. You should go back and watch that because it's very interesting. Because Trump was definitely not on his game for giving a speech. Like he was just straight up. I am reading this off of the teleprompter right now. Like
every time he's done that, I feel like that's been the case. Every time he's had to read a teleprompter, he's very stiff.
Well, I think last time he did it from the Oval Office, it kind of looked the same. Which it was just weird to see it again because usually you see him at these like rallies, like ranting off the rails about like something that's coming. So that was just really weird. But he said all the things. I'm sure you've read the articles about it that turned out to be like not even true. Like he said that he's the talks with the insurance companies and they're waiving the copays for all the treatment and the testing, and turns out that's not true at all. They're just waiving it for the testing, which in a national public health emergency, like I can't even believe that there was a concept that they might still charge you for like for that stuff. But either way, that was weird. But he just, the way he talked about it, he's like, we are going closing the borders to Europe, and blah 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 blah, except the UK. And it was just like, it's like, wait, what? You just randomly threw in except the UK at the end of this giant like discussion about closing the borders to Europe, and then you just moved on.
What's funny is when he read it off the teleprompter, he definitely said like to trade and to people.
Oh yeah, he absolutely said to trade and to people.
But then like the futures markets basically started crashing immediately, and they had to roll that shit back real fast. So yeah, that announcement did not last very long. Did you see the before and after when his mic was hot?
No.
Oh, that's some funny stuff. So his mic was hot before they started on accident. So you can go and listen to him on C-SPAN where he doesn't think he's live, and he is. And then after as well, but that was video and audio, where C-SPAN was still live broadcasting, and he thought that they even said like, "All right, Mr. President, we're clear," and he just like relaxes and like stretches all out, and he's like, okay, like the longest okay you've heard in your life. And then he like puts his arms up in the air, like waiting for them to come take his mic off and stuff, like a little toddler.
At least he didn't say something like stupid.
Beforehand, it was a little bit more dumb. I mean, yeah, but at least, yeah, I mean, it's a good thing he didn't just speak his mind, something like, we're fucked, or something like that. But beforehand, apparently he'd spilled something on his tie, and you can hear him saying, fuck. Give me the white stuff. Give me the white stuff. So, need a Tide pen. So yeah.
Was it his pretty yellow tie? I don't remember what he wore.
I don't know what he was. Yeah, exactly.
That yellow tie was hilarious in that first press conference.
But I feel like this is the only thing I've talked about in like two podcasts. We did 2 hours of podcasting because we do 2 episodes. And then now we're doing it again.
It's easy to talk about it when there's so much happening right now with it, and it is like the topic.
I feel like the people that are watching are probably tired of hearing it, to be honest.
Probably, but dude, let's talk about sports. Oh, wait a minute. Like, not only do you not care about sports,
I was about to say that's a bad topic for me.
Let's talk about the big meetings that we're going to go to. Oh, wait a minute. Let's talk about Extra Life. Oh, wait a minute. Let's talk about your cruise. Well, that's still on, but
yeah, it's happening.
It's not.
I'm holding out all the hope.
Sure, you can feel free to hold out the hope. But I think within the next week, I guess it depends. In the next couple of days, if this thing all of a sudden just kind of stops dead in its tracks, sure.
I don't think that's gonna happen. But I feel like, I don't know. Between now, I mean, there's still weeks between the next couple of weeks. Like, if things don't get to the point where we have 100,000 cases in the United States, which I think we will, but I don't think we'll know it because I think Trump is doing everything he can to keep the testing low, because it's as the numbers rise, the stock market goes down, and he can't have that. So I feel like suppressing the knowledge of the number of sick is probably one of his major concerns.
But do you think we're going to be that much high? Like, we got to 100,000. That's more than China.
Oh yeah, well we should. I think we will pass China's numbers. I don't know for sure that China's numbers are real, because we don't have the ability to suppress this like China did. That kill you?
No, I'm just trying to think. I do find it baffling that if you literally told America, like I think it'd be very interesting that if tomorrow, if there was an announcement that said everybody quarantine, stay in your house, like this is martial law, people wouldn't fucking do it, and I just think it's kind of crazy.
Well, I saw a map a couple of days ago about state law per quarantine. Um, so like based on what state you live in, what the repercussions are if you ignore a quarantine. And depending on the state, it's widely different. Like in South Carolina, if you are told to stay in your home and you leave your home, it's a prison sentence. In my state, if you're told to stay in your home and you leave your home, there is literally no repercussions. You can just ignore quarantine and there's no legal precedent currently or law that says you have to follow a quarantine.
Well, that seems a little odd.
And there's several states like that. Mine's not the only one. So I think that's kind of interesting to me because like depending on where you live, they can quarantine all you want. You can just be like, nah, I'm good, thanks. Going out to eat. We went out to eat tonight, and the crazy ass waitress I had was like, "Did y'all hear about this coronavirus?" She did. She asked me about it. And I was like, "Yeah."
She said, "No, I live in a cave."
Yeah, tell me more about it.
Is it in the Coronas?
Y'all,
push my order, please.
Y'all have Corona on tap? So she really was a crazy. She was special. And she kept telling everyone in the restaurant, I'm so new. I'm just so new. Just so new. Like that just explains everything. She brought me sweet tea whenever I had unsweet. She was just so new. So you gotta forgive her. It's like the baby excuse. I'm just a baby.
Little do you know, she's been using that excuse for 17 years at the same restaurant.
Yeah, right. She definitely knew there. I ate there enough to know I've never seen her before. Yeah, it was. It was funny because earlier today I made a joke about this toilet paper situation, and I was like, well, I mean, I guess I'm just gonna have to start using fucking like washcloths and washing them in the washing machines, like it's like kind of like reusable diapers. And then so me again mentioning this woman's a crazy woman, I hated it because then she was like, her response to this whole corona thing was, it's crazy about the toilet paper. I guess we're just gonna have to start using washcloths and wash them in the washing machine. I was like, oh god, I got shit in common with the crazies.
See, I'm just so glad I bought my bidet recently.
Do you think I should buy a bidet?
Dude, this bidet is the most amazing thing.
So do you wipe it all? Do you have like a little dry towel, like a hand towel, but you got like the anus towel?
No, I don't use that type of towel. I use toilet paper to wipe with.
You use toilet paper to wipe with? Well, this is not helping then. If you're jet spraying your asshole and still using toilet paper, you're not...
A very small amount, but I could easily not.
You could easily not. Does it blow? Like after you go...
Yes, it does. Dude, it's got a heated seat. It's got heated water jets. It's got an auto function that just starts squirting right on the hole for a minute. And then it goes back and forth and like does this like, let's clean the rest of it out that we didn't quite get. And then it does this weird like spurty thing to like get the other areas. And then the air dryer turns on. And
so it does all automatically. You don't have to like be like, all right, now I'm ready for the blow.
I hit the A button for auto. You can do all of them individually or through the cycle.
So, and that's how you leave it. You just leave it on the auto cycle.
Well, I just hit the A button. Like
it's my asshole, the executive treatment.
The remote that you choose what you want.
It has a remote?
It has a remote. I mean, this thing is.
I would have thought it would just be like an. I don't know. Does your toilet have like armrests?
No, but it would be. God, that would be nice. Like a laptop stand or something to hold your
laptop stand. I mean, if you sell the toilet backwards, then it has a laptop stand.
That's true. That is true. I always thought that thing was just removable. You put it on your lap to put the laptop on it.
Yeah. This is like, it's like a dinner tray, but this is my laptop tray.
Yeah, exactly.
Get thirsty, just take a sip out of the back. The water's clean back there, right?
No, but this thing, like, it will definitely help if we have to. It's the toilet I use.
Man, maybe. How much was the bidet?
$199.
Ah, it's so expensive. I can't afford $200.
Once you get it, you will realize that it was like So, like I said, I had one of those cheapy $30 ones before. There's a video of me installing it on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right there somewhere. That thing is like, it's like a gimmick. It's hooked up to the water. It's cold water. It squirts. It squirts very, very powerfully, and it like blows the stuff off your ass. It worked.
Blows the stuff off your ass.
I mean, that one of the things that I was concerned with when I got this nicer one is a lot of the comments say this does not have enough pressure for me. It does not have enough pressure for me. And I was like, man, it needs to have some pressure to like make sure it does it. It definitely has way less pressure than a gimmicky one, but it works so much better. You don't need the pressure. Like it's warm water in this pattern that's just like it moves back and forth and everything. It's like it's relaxing and comfortable and does so much better of a job of cleaning than just having ridiculous amounts of cold water pressure.
How do you feel about the countries that have the like separate bidet where you have to like
I've never used one. I'd be interested to see like why are they like that?
I feel like they probably have even more features.
They very well could. I'd love to see these features.
What more features do you think? Like, what do you think's missing? If your bidet could do more, what would it do?
One thing is if you really want to sit there for a long time and just like let your butt get massaged for a while, it will run out of hot water because it's still just hooked up to the cold water line. And it's got a heating unit in it that heats up like a small amount of hot water. So it will run out when you're using a lot. So that would be nice to have a lot more. I wouldn't mind if it had features to get like higher pressure or the higher pressure on the dryer. I really want. Because
the air doesn't blow hard enough?
The air is not super, so it takes a while if you're just going to sit there and let it dry. Like, if I want to, like,
you can give yourself hemorrhoids waiting for your asshole to dry.
It's possible, might be worth it. But I'm trying to think of what other features I would actually need. I don't know. It claims it has a massager, whereas it's just like one of the pulses of the water. Is the massage. I think it'd be cool if like the seat like itself vibrated. And
you want your whole butt cheeks to be vibrated?
That would be kind of cool. It'd be gimmicky, but it'd be cool.
When you said massager, I thought it was going to massage your prostate or something.
I mean, that would be a nice feature of a standalone one. It gives you a reach around, massages your prostate, and then gives you cab fare. Yeah, I don't know what else I would want, but that could solve the toilet paper for me. I mean, right now, with the prices that people are paying to get toilet paper because of the gouging, they might as well just buy the bidet.
I mean, that's true. Like, I looked on Amazon for my toilet paper. I use Cottonelle, and it was $48 for 12 rolls.
One of the people I work with today was like, I can't believe this. I was at Target yesterday, and we needed to pick up toilet paper, and there was none in the store. I'm like, where the have you been for the last week of news talking about this toilet paper shortage? Like, you're talking about it today as if you just are so baffled by it. Granted, I think it's ridiculous, but how did you not know?
Yeah, that is weird. I still don't understand. That's one of the that and water. Like, the coronavirus isn't taking out your damn city water.
I think what they're kind of worried about is what if you realize that one of the plant managers at a water plants is infected? Are they going to go to crazy extremes and be like, well, shut the plant down?
I feel like there has to be a breaking point where we just accept that people are and at-risk people are going to die. And
sure, and the funny thing is with this, I think that's almost like there is a point where that is acceptable too, because it's not something that's just killing everybody. But think of what if this was a little bit crazier. I mean, this is kind of good that it is what it is, because maybe it gets us the right testing plan or the right plan for when the plague comes ripping through.
Right. Possibly. I don't know. Do you think that 9/11 did that to the travel industry?
I think 9/11 tried to do that to the travel industry, but way on the opposite side of the extreme.
And that's what I'm saying. And I feel like that could happen with this too. Like, we make these supposed steps to preparedness. I feel like sometimes governments use these sort of things as to their advantage to get things done that they wanted to do.
Sure.
That really don't have anything to do with actually helping the situation.
You definitely also could run into the situation where all these people are going to get infected. People are going to look down on the government for why didn't you respond to this type of deal, kind of like with Hurricane Katrina in Louisiana. And what's going to happen is the next time there's going to be one person somewhere that has like a new strain of the flu, and boom, all of a sudden, like martial law shut down everything.
Right.
When really it was like,
has martial law ever been declared in the United States? It has to have been.
Good question. I'm not sure. Has martial law? I know it has in China.
Do they even call it martial law? They just call it go home.
Well, no, I just remember that we didn't start the fire song. China's under
has martial law ever been declared? On
September 15th, 1863.
Wow. That's a long ass time ago.
I mean, it's about time for it to get right.
It was Lincoln that did it, and the Supreme Court ruled that it was unconstitutional.
To declare martial law? What did he declare it for, though?
I don't know. Let's read about it. President Lincoln imposed congressionally authorized martial law. The authorizing act allowed the president to suspend habeas corpus throughout the entire United States, which he had already done under his own authority on April 27th, 1861. Lincoln imposed the suspicion of prisoners of war, spies or aiders and abettors of the enemy, as well as other cases of people such as draft dodgers. The president's proclamation was challenged by Ex parte Milligan, 71 U.S. 2. The Supreme Court ruled that Lincoln's imposition of martial law by way of suspension of habeas corpus was unconstitutional in areas where the local courts were still in session. They didn't really tell me shit. I don't know how you feel about that.
I mean, basically, are you saying you can't declare martial law if there's still courts?
I mean, I think that whatever he suspended habeas corpus, that's what was unconstitutional.
So we need a plan for when we can say that Trump's declaration of martial law right before the election is unconstitutional. Oh, wait, I forgot. I think unconstitutional things don't matter anymore.
On a federal level, only the president has the power to impose martial law. In each state, the governor has the right to impose martial law within the borders of the state. In the United States, martial law has been used a limited number of circumstances, such as directly after the foreign attack in Hawaii, after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, or New Orleans during the Battle of New Orleans.
Oh, so it has happened a couple more times.
Yeah, but it sounds like these were state martial law versus federal martial law. Major disasters such as the Great Chicago Fire in 1871 or San Francisco earthquake of 1906, local leaders declared martial law to protect themselves from mob violence, such as Nauvoo, Illinois, during the Illinois Mormon War. Jesus, that's something I don't know about.
Illinois Mormon.
Yeah, or in Utah during the Utah War. When the fuck was Utah War with itself?
I would have thought a Utah Mormon War rather than an Illinois Mormon War.
Lastly, in the response to chaos associated with protests and rioting, such as in 1934 West Coast waterfront strike and during the Civil Rights Movement in response to the Cambridge riot in 1963.
Sounds like there's a lot of crazy things in our history that I know nothing about.
It says martial law concept in the United States is closely tied to the right of habeas corpus, which is in essence the right to a hearing on lawful imprisonment, or more broadly, the supervision of law enforcement by the judiciary. The ability to suspend habeas corpus is related to the imposition of martial law. So I guess that's where Lincoln fucked up. Basically, like,
I mean, that Lincoln corpus. Never doing anything right.
Yeah. Fucking Lincoln. Impeach him.
You think that's why he got shot? Somebody was like, you and your mark.
I want to know more about this Illinois Mormon War.
And does the Utah one not have anything to do with it?
Oh, this Wikipedia article is so long. I'm not reading that right now.
And welcome back to Reading Wikipedia.
Right. Yeah, what is the Utah War about? Utah War lasted for a year in 1857 to 1858. It's also known as the Utah Expedition, Utah Campaign, Buchanan's Blunder, the Mormon War, or the Mormon Rebellion. So this is related to...
it was also Mormons.
Mm-hmm. It was an armed confrontation between Mormon settlers in the Utah Territory and the armed forces of the United States government. The confrontation lasted from May 1857 to July 1858. There were some casualties, but mostly non-Mormon civilians. The war had no notable military battles. What the hell were they fighting over?
How are they fighting if there was no battles?
So in 58 or in 57, President James Buchanan sent U.S. forces to the Utah Territory in what became known as the Utah Expedition. The Mormons, fearful of this large U.S. military force, had been sent to annihilate them, and having faced persecution in other areas, made preparations for defense. Though bloodshed was avoided, and the U.S. government also hoped that its purpose might be attained without the loss of life, both sides prepared for war. The Mormons manufactured and repaired firearms, turning scythes into bayonets, and burnished and sharpened long, unused sabers. Rather than engaging the enemy directly, Mormon strategy was one of hindering and weakening. Daniel H. Wells, Lieutenant General of the Nauvoo Legion, aren't those from that movie Avatar?
Yep, definitely.
The Romans blocked the Army's interest in the Salt Lake City Valley and weakened the U.S. Army by hindering them from receiving provisions. Huh. Interesting. Who knew Mormons were
crazy?
Well, we knew that with their special underwear. But anyways, we should probably end this episode here. You guys have been educated highly thanks to me and Jeff and our highly educational videos.
Yes, highly educational. Put it on the front page of YouTube for the educational content.
Absolutely. And please subscribe and
smash that like button.
Smash it and go watch the podcast and pay $5. By the way, if you think that money that you're paying for the podcast is going into my pockets, you're right. No, I'm just kidding. It's all
going into the toilet paper fund.
It's going into the toilet paper fund. No, it's all for Mindcrack to spend more money on the marathon. So it's to improve the Mindcrack marathon. So in some way, you're kind of donating to charity, but you can't write it off on your taxes. So there's that. But you are helping the charity by doing this. So there's that.
Yeah, charity.
Yay, charity. If there's ever another event. I mean, hell, we may not get to have Extra Life marathon this year, right? Like,
I mean, we just hold it at your house and
yeah, but I mean, what if like the Europeans aren't allowed to come here?
Well, it's just an American event.
I don't want to do it without Arcus. It wouldn't be the same. Wouldn't be right. He's my sous chef.
This is possibly true.
All right. Well, I will see you later. Thank you guys for watching. Bye, everybody.
All right. See ya.